Welcome everybody back to Mothlike TV in this 9-ball shootout first round match between Luis Abarca and Vlady Moresca. It's a level race to 8 here in this first round. And a lag there has been won by Vlady. So he's going to get us underway here in the first rack. Playing World 9-ball Tour rules, so the 9 is on the spot and they're breaking from the box. And comes up dry, so hands the table over to Luis, just putting a couple of pennies there at the top cushion to enable the players to keep track of the rack score. And looks like a straight-ish 1 ball in this bottom left corner for Luis. Not sure if he's going to be able to stay in the middle of the table with the cue ball to get the 2 in the side. Oh, that's what he did, but unfortunately put the 1 ball wide of the target. So Vlady coming back to the table with a nice opportunity here. Just a little drawback. Try and get as straight as possible on this 2 because the 3's waiting for a shot in the bottom left corner. If you can just do a little stun or a little tiny draw shot and then make his way up for the 4, probably in the top left I would have thought, and then the rest of the balls are all down here in the bottom half of the table, so he's able to stun up for the top right. And Vlady a 584, Fargo, Luis 610, and in this tournament it's every 40 points of Fargo difference is 1 rack conceded on the wire. Oh, and with that he leaves the 4 in the jaws, slightly inaccurate. Not quite got his arm going yet. He won't be happy with that. And I think Luis may have wanted just a tiny bit more left-hand English there to make this a bit straighter, but he's still got a natural angle. Just drop the 5 in, have the 6 in the same pocket. That little graze on the 9 means he's a bit flatter than he probably wanted to be, and in going forward he has to avoid the 8. He wants to play with a bit of left. So he's going below centre now to try and come to the left of the 8 ball, maybe even draw all the way past the 9 as well. Yeah, settling for the 7, up the rail into the top left corner. So it's all on this shot really, big shot. It makes this, he's got the first rack. But it's quite a lot too thick. The pockets are generous, but they're not that generous. But it's not finished easy for Vlady. I mean, this is definitely cuttable, but going across the face of the ball, across the table like this, and he's also got to negotiate that cue ball and the side pocket. So choosing to play safe, and he plays a real good 7 ball. But with his hand on the table, you'd think that Luis could probably play an equally good return here. Got a bit of right spin on the cue ball. Oh, and he was just trying to bank that to the side rail, but I think he's left it available in the side pocket. Probably wanted to get it to the cushion, about a diamond up from that pocket. Hard to judge the pace on that one. And that gives Vlady a great chance now just to drop this 8 ball in. Got to make sure he gets nicely on the 9. And that's perfect. So this first rack now going to Vlady. A couple of errors and opportunities passing both ways. You'd expect something like that in the first rack. Trying to get settled. Just having a little look, making sure that it's a bit thinner than it looks, this actually. And where's the cue ball? Make sure he's clear of the pocket. And there we go. So alternate break in this format. Let's see what Luis can manage here. And hit the 1 quite a bit too thick. You can see that it the cut break there. It went straight directly from the apex of the diamond, and it hit the left hand long rail about a diamond up from the pocket. So you'd need to cut that a little thinner next time, and the one will be further down the rail. Hopefully he'll make it in the side. Trying to get cover there behind the 8 ball, but looks as though he's left a shot for Lewis. So in this tournament tonight we've actually got 12 players. Everyone's paid their $100 entry fee. Looks like he was getting the 9 ball moving there, trying to make an early 9. And so we had 4 buys into the last 8, and then 4 matches, and this is the last of those 4 matches in the first round. It will complete the lineup for the last 8 of quarterfinals, and players need to win a quarterfinal match to get their money back in the semi-finals, and another win gets them into the final, where there's $900 being divided between the two, winner and loser, with a 600-300 split. No, just seemed to be a little bit quick with his delivery there. Bit jabby. Just rattled the 3, but he's not left it. The 9's come to his favour. I think Lewis there is indicating he was trying to get over behind the 8. Left a chance here. Vlady seems to be digging down, wants to try and get a bit of action on the white. And again, a bit quick with his final delivery and slightly offline. So Lewis coming back to the table with a nice chance here. He's just going to wait for someone to play a shot on the adjacent table. So a little bit of a soft draw shot here, just to float over to the right. That's very nice. And I think he can just play one rail across, just to plain top spin. Get the 5 in the top right. Well, but undercuts the 4. So both players still yet to find their stroke properly. And you would think it's the first one to do that is going to seize the initiative here. And how's this? Looking pretty good if you can miss the 7. Well, still definitely cuttable. It's a little bit steeper than he would have liked. Perfect. Real nice shot. And that little nudge on the 6 means everything is connected here now. Ideally would like to get back just past the pocket line, but he's stayed above it, so it means the cue ball's got to travel away from the 8. Probably come 2 rails, trying to get back up to the middle of the table. Could play the full 3 rail shot, and then the line would actually be approaching the 8 from that left hand long rail. Depends how he sees it. Yeah, played the 3 rails. Needs a little bounce. And just a bit of a stun shot here to come out for the 9. Oh dear, but once again, puts a bit of a quick one in, and he won't be happy with that. In fact, he's pretty disgusted as he walks away. Just gifted the rack to Lewis. Could have been 2-0 up there, and probably should have been. A little bit of a tester, but you would expect this to pose no problem to Lewis. There we go, 2-0. And if you're liking what you see, give us a like, folks, and subscribe to the channel. We're always looking for new subscribers, and you'll get notified next time we go live or publish a video. What kind of break has Vlady got here? Well, similar to Lewis's, he did the cut break on the 1, but hit it too full, and it came off the stack of balls and went up to the right hand long rail. It was about a diamond up from the pocket, so needs to be a bit thinner. Playing left-handed, just going for the safe here, Lewis. It looks like he's got full cover. Where's the ledge sticking out? It's obviously tight. Yep, looks like there is. I was going for the cross corner bank there, and that little kiss on the nines meant that he's left Lewis in a snooker. Just checking to see he can get through and get this rail first, I think. Just where the cue ball's going to end up. It's probably going to go run into the 6, you would have thought. Yeah, so that's not ideal. Looks to me to be snookered on the 2. Look, he's going for the short stick. And most players these days are pretty good at getting over the ball with those wonderful new jump cues that are all available. I believe Lewis, sponsored by BQ, so that will have been a BQ jump cue. Actually an Italian cue manufacturer, I believe. I'll be sure to check out BQ billiard cues online, and if you're interested in one, Lewis is the guy to speak to. You'll find his details on the website for the league we're all playing, which is metrobcapool.com, just appearing on your screen right now. As well as being a player in the league, he's also one of the coaches and instructors, and he's available to give lessons. Just reach out to him. Details are all provided there. Nice shot on the 2 ball. And can follow forward now. That's a real clean shot. Got perfectly on the 4. Well, I say perfectly. Would have loved to have been a bit further on so he could just come directly down towards the 5. Now he's going to have to go away from it and come back around. Lots of fizz on that cue ball. Can he get past the 6 or he's going to hit it? It's okay. There's a bit flat on this 5. Difficult to avoid hitting the 9. Any sort of forward movement of the cue ball. And drawing back, he appears to be just above the straight line, so the cue ball would end up going towards the left corner pocket if he played a deep draw. You kind of got to force the stun on this, and I think he's looking to see if there's any way to get past that 9 and go forward. That's a real small gap between the 9 and the short rail. Let's see what he can engineer here. Yeah, he decided it wasn't worth it. Plays the lock-up snooker instead. Didn't get tight on the 9, so relatively simple for Vlady to hit this. But as ever, it's about getting the 5 safe. Trying to get separation. I think you'd want to try and come 2 rails, hit it from below. Try and get a fullish contact, send the 5 up table and leave the cue ball down here. Maybe get cover behind the 6, 7. Cue ball's slipped out. This is definitely cuttable in the side, but you'd think the cue ball would collide with the 8 immediately after. So hard to judge exactly where it's going. Oh, manages to squeeze through. And so looking good here. Can just drop this 6 in. Path should be clear for him to take the lead. Yeah, but once again, not as accurate as he would have liked. Hit there, long rail, good diamond out from the pocket. And At the pace he hit it, that was never inclined to drop. It's always tough on the first match of the night. Just get your arm going. And all of the players all came in and hit a few balls. They probably only did so for 20 or 30 minutes. And then once you start in the match, it's the pressure comes on, especially in this tournament because it is a single elimination. Nice cut, but where's the cue ball? Yeah, I mean, it was a nice pot, but you'd have to say the pockets are always there, so needed to do something different with the cue ball to avoid that and take that scratch out of the equation. Maybe he had right spin on there outside, maybe a bit of tiny bit of inside might have done the trick. And now this should be plain sailing here for Lewis. Just leave yourself straight-ish 8 ball in that right centre pocket. And all you got to do is draw back a foot or two. And you've got a simple 9 in the corner for a 2-1 lead. I'll make sure of it. Gets pretty straight on the 9. So here we go. Rack 3 going to Zorro. Luis Abarca, and smash that subscribe if you enjoy what you're watching. Let's see how he's gone a bit more central with the cue ball this time. And hitting it full once again, or fullish, but he does get a ball straight in the bottom corner. I think it was the 7 that dropped. Nothing easy now with this one. Potential bank past the 5. Or you could try and hide the cue ball behind that 9 ball. Or he chose to get the 9 ball moving, give himself a chance to actually make the 9. And you can never blame someone for that. They're trying to make things happen. And if you do hit the 9, going in the right direction, can easily win you the game. There's the cue ball. Whoa, close once again. But now should be pretty good here. Just make sure this cue ball can come across both the long rails and back to the middle of the table. And just a stop shot, or even you could just stroke this in. You need to worry too much. The 4's close to that pocket. It wouldn't be a bad idea to be below the pocket line so you can get easily up for the 5. Ideally, you don't want to be on the rail. Now he's got limitations, what he can do. If he just tries to drop this in and leave the 5 in the top corner, he's got a big 8 ball to avoid. So you see he's trying to get in the middle of the table here. Well, I feel sure he was going for the pot there. We've actually just got Luis Rivera, who's playing the match on the adjacent table, stepping in the way of the camera. Do apologise for that. And a natural angle gives him good shape on the 5. But such an acute angle, it's hard to work the cue ball very much here. So it's just looking to see what tangent line he can manage. He could find that line he was just indicating. You need to hit it fairly hard to get off the bottom cushion and over towards the 6. Alternately, you could just leave yourself a bank in the cross-side bank in the same middle pocket. Just looking to see how close that 6 is to the rail, because if it's too close or frozen, then the bank is much more difficult. Oh, it's the cue ball. Yes, unfortunate, but that little kiss on the 8 took it offline and straight into the pocket. So, chance here for Vlady to level up the match. So try and get that cue ball over to at least the center of the table, and you should be fine. Nine being so close to the corner, all he needs is to be able to make the 8, because you could get that 9 from pretty much anywhere. Oh, and rattles the 8. And he's slapped the table a little bit there. He's obviously a bit frustrated with the way things are going. He finished a little flat on the 8 and ended up playing a stun shot. And just the extra pace just kept that out. I think he was able to just roll it. It may have even fallen in. So it's Lewis who's going to move into a 3-1 lead. Slightly worrying times for Vlady. Well, it's still early days. He wants to get another rack on the board as soon as he can. And he's choosing to go central with the cue ball. It just gives him a pretty wild hit there. No attempts at the cut break. Comes up dry. Leaves a thin 1 ball in the side pocket for Lewis as an opener. And rather fortunate to get that snooker there. I don't know what he was trying. He seemed to hit it in such a way that I don't know if he was even trying to make the 9. Pace he played it, and the kind of how thick he hit the 1. He seemed to be trying to do a carom for the early 9. So it's 2 rails here, trying to make the 1 in the side pocket. Unfortunately comes up short. Ball in hand for Lewis. And these are looking pretty straightforward here. The 1, 2 and 3 are all by that side pocket. 3 to the 4 to the 5. You think that's the key phase of play to get out here. So leave yourself straightish on the 2. And then you just got to make sure you don't block your shot at the 3 where that 7 is. Choosing to nudge the 7, that's a nice shot. And it's pretty straight here, so drawing back for the 4. And I think he's straight enough to be able to follow forward and get between the 8 and the long rail. I could just do a little slow stun type shot. No, he just rolls forward. A little bit flat. So you could choose to just leave yourself a long 6 up the rail. Don't want to do too much movement with this cue ball here. I think you just settle for the 6 up the cushion. Yeah, that's a nice shot. Leaves us to have a good angle so you can get the cue ball out for the 7. Anywhere near straight on the 7 and you think it's all over. A nice shot. So this came from that rather wild shot that Lewis played, trying to make an early 9. Got a pretty tough snooker on Vlady. He's missed his attempted kick, and Lewis is going to complete a table run here. All 9 balls. There it is. Well played, Lewis. 4-1 he leads. And with the break. So just moving the cue ball over to the right a little, but still very central. And again, it's pretty thick on that 1, so no real attempt to do the cut break. And it comes up dry. So it's a thin cut. I think I'd be tempted to take it in the top left because it's a nice path for the cue ball to come round the back of the 9. And hopefully to the right of the 4. The shape for the 2 ball. Catches that quite a lot too thick. And I believe he's left it. I'm not quite sure if he can get past that 3 to make it in the top left, or he's going to play the cross corner bank. Let's see. Appears to have played a safety, and he's got a good one. 2 rails, like a diamond down from the center pocket. He's going to the middle diamond of that rail. Yeah, he was more accurate than I would have been. Nice kick. But it's available in this bottom left, I think. Just wondering whether it's worth playing slowly to try and hold for that 2 ball, or whether you play a little bit more firmly and try and get the 2 in the same pocket. He's going to kiss the 4 here. Yes, it's finished awkward. You can see, could he cut it in to the bottom right? That's extremely thin. Ends up double kissing it, but it's going to finish nicely. Oh, and he gets another snooker, so it's all going Lewis's way at the moment, and this will just be compounding the way Vlady's feeling. Just get a sense sometimes that it's unfair. Like you've done nothing wrong and your opponent's getting all the runs. Oh, and that's a lovely shot there. Real nice up and over jump. Can't quite tell if it'll pass the 9, this 2 ball. We'll soon see. Oh no. Not again. Well, I'm laughing here, but it's certainly not funny from Vlady's perspective. Once again, gone to pick up the short stick. Lewis had a bit of a wild slash at that. Went all the way around the table and a real tough snooker. And this time, his jumping lets him down. Catches the 4 on the way. So, key phase of this rack you'd think would be 7 to the 8 to the 9. And just a little bit of bottom and right, come out off that long rail, get above the 7 for the 3 in the top left corner. And a little bit awkward, bit too straight really. I think he can still stun to get off that rail. Yeah, he did quite well there. I just didn't want to be looking at too much of a blind cutback. With the 5 being right over the side, it's all about making the 4. Has he snookered himself? He appears to have. It's got to be described as careless, I'm afraid. Nothing Lewis can't handle. There's a gentle little swerve there, but now he's faced with a tougher 6 than he should have had. But makes a lovely shot and coming up for the 7. Bit skinny, but he should be able to hold for this 8 along that bottom cushion. Just looking if he floats it in where the cue ball's going to go. And he might be a bit cautious here because it could go close to that corner pocket. So now looking if he uses a bit of backspin. Can he get into the 8 maybe? Well, that's a tough shot. No guarantees to be on it. But he is going low. Yeah. Not finished too clever here. He's just checking. If this is touching the rail, it makes it a little bit easier. You could just go rail first, and you see, look at all the right-hand English he's got on here. And that looks good. Where's the cue ball? Yeah, that's the thing. He needed a little bit more pace, and he would have been back in the middle of the table. Now he's faced with a bank. Probably cross side being the preferred pocket. It's that well too full, needed to cut it more. So Vlady will be delighted to come back to the table with a pretty simple 9-ball. You just have to watch the path of the cue ball here. It's hard on the rail and the tangent's close at that corner. I think he realises that. He's now hand on hip, deep sigh. Just looking. They can't do an awful lot with the cue ball, you see, when it's so tight to the rail. No way you can jack up to get any backspin on it. Maybe you just try and baby it so slowly the cue ball doesn't make it to the pocket. Oh dear. Oh dear, going from bad to worse, I'm afraid. Unlucky Vlady at Lewis, 5-1. And at least the ball drops in there, and 2 balls, and the cue ball stays out, so maybe the slightest signs of turnaround in the rolls for Vlady. What do you do with this one? Do you go for the side pocket? Or do you try and cut thin off the right hand edge and just drop the cue ball in behind the 8? Oh, that's the one he's tried. I think that's the shot I'd have played, to be honest. It was a natural. And no point pushing the boat out in this situation. Just keep playing the right shot. Be patient. And be sure in the knowledge that a game can turn around at any time. And so all you've got to do is give yourself a chance and be ready when it comes. So choosing to go to this left-hand long rail, it's tough to do it when the cue ball's so close to the rail. Yeah, very difficult to judge. So a nice chance now for Vlady. Ball in hand. 2 in the middle of the table. The 3 and the 4 have already gone, so 2 to the 5. 6 is been open play. I just think the 7 is slightly obstructed. Won't go past the 8. So he's either got to play a combo and put the 8 in or play short side on it in a different pocket. But that's further down the track. Let's just get the first few balls out of the way. Come straight down the centre line. Maybe played for that in the side pocket, but he'll definitely take it in the corner. Oh dear, it's just not happening for Vlady, I'm afraid. Just not accurate enough there. Must be slightly dejected with the way things have been going, and just fortunately didn't leave the 4. And he's got another opportunity now. So he's got to just try and dispel everything from his mind. Forget about what's gone before. Easy to say, but just look forward. The next shot's all that matters. Oh, once again, rattling the 4. This time leaving it over the hole, or close to the hole for Lewis. So you'd expect him to make this. And nice shape on the 5. So the tricky part here is going to be 6 to the 7. Switching hands. Not bad with his left hand is Lewis. Yeah, gets a bit of action on the cue ball. Now, this time, he can actually play down the left side of the table. If he makes this 6, he's just pointing where the cue ball should contact that long rail after bouncing off the top cushion. Oh, but too thick. Quite a bit too thick, so maybe guilty of steering the cue ball a bit there. So, he's not out of this one yet, Vlady. What do you do here? I don't really like the pot in the top right because it's virtually impossible to get on the 7. And he's digging. And just, there's a bit of a lash at it. Well, it's going to fluke it. So something's gone his way, and he has got a shot now on this 7. Will naturally be on the 8, so just a little stop shot would be good. And then he'd have a nice angle on the 8 to get up for that 9 in the side pocket, so stay down on this, put a nice stroke on it. But the stroke's not quite there at the moment, really struggling. And I can certainly empathise. My match with Jesse went a similar way for me. I just couldn't really take advantage of the many opportunities I was presented with. There's too many balls. But Lewis is not delivering the killer blow. So, still alive here, Vlady. Make this 7, and he'll naturally roll down towards the 8. So Tad Thurman just walking past the camera there as just offset the focus a little bit. It's on autofocus, the camera at the moment, and you see it just correcting itself. As soon as Vlady put his hand on the table, it detected the movement and sharpened up the focus. And there it is. Nice shot, nice shot. Now it's a bit thin, but it's a natural. All you got to do, roll the 8 in, and you're going to be on that 9. Playing off the top cushion as well, so we're going to see a win here, or a rack win anyway for Vlady, I think. Got to get himself off 1. Yes, so it's 5-2. There we go. Only 3 behind. So Lewis with the break once again, going central with the cue ball. I anticipate he's going to hit this one as fairly full. Just give it a good hit. Oh, he's going to come up, try I think. Or is the 2 going to drop? Yeah, the 2's in. But nothing easy with this one. Just checking again if it's frozen. Might have a go at the cut along the rail. Oh, oh dear. Didn't quite get it to hug the cushion, so as you can see it stopped over the pocket, but hard to tell. Can he get past that 5? I don't think so. He'd have to play a kick off this left-hand long rail. Now the natural angle I think would be to hit just before or just below the left centre pocket. So he can't see that the 9's blocking a big chunk of that long rail. In fact, I think getting past the 9, the closest you could hit to the middle pocket is probably a good diamond or a diamond and a half up. So having to swerve into that rail. Oh, this is a great effort. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, it was very close to that. That was a tough one. But ball in hand to Lewis. And probably going to try and play. But a gap there between the 4 and the 8. Put the 3 in the bottom left corner. That looks okay. Just drop this in and have the 4 in the top left. 5's waiting over the corner. I think he's starting to find his range now, Luis. Quite dangerous player once he gets his eye in. Yeah, and that one was straight in the heart of the pocket. Choice of options here, probably play with left, come round 3 rails. Natural angle. Just rolled slightly too far, but it should be fine here. A little gentle, soft draw out into the centre of the table. And needs to pop this one in. Like a crisp stun shot, get the cue ball out for that 8. And just come a fraction far. And they'll probably just draw across the face of the 9 for the same bottom left corner. But he's just ever so slightly lost the cue ball there. These are not easy. A bit of a tester off the cushion. You'd still expect him to make it, of course. Which he does. There's the out, and it's now 6-2. Luis leads. Vlady with a break here. Makes a ball. Where's the cue ball going? Doesn't that just sum up the night that Vlady's been having here? He's had some torrid bad luck. The roll was just not been going his way. Never really got his stroke flowing. And what's he left for Luis here? A little bit of congestion with the 2-3. He's actually looking at a 9 ball, is he? Yeah, combination on the 9. At least I think that's what he's doing. It was indeed. But just caught the 9 too thin. But once again, you can't blame him for his ambition there. That one shot could have put him on the hill. And he's not left an awful lot. Just going for separation, trying to get cover. Good hit. And there's the return from Luis. Has he got a snooker back? Is there a gap between the 5 and the 4? Looks like there is. Nicely played by Vlady there. I'm going to admire his patience here. Just trying to stick with it. He's going to make the rail. No. No ball in hand. So what do you do here? Do you try and run these? Or based on the congestion in the centre table, do you try and go for 3 fouls? Just giving it some due care and attention. It's very difficult to get on that too. And there's a little window. You'll go into the bottom left corner if you get precisely the right spot. When you... I don't know. How do you get a real tough snooker from here? think, yeah, it's going to make this come round a couple of rails and approach. It looks like he's drawing across the table. Well, he's got the gap here. And with the 3 just waiting by the corner pocket, all you've got to do is drop it in. That's the case with a lot of shots tonight. He's just not quite got his eye in. And just drifting past the 6 makes life a little easier. Got a window there he's looking at between the 5-9. Play this with right hand English. I think you want to try and pick a point on the first round, or the second round in this case, the bottom cushion you're going to hit, and then have a point on the long rail on the left in mind. Just looking to see, can you make the 4 in the side? If he gets there, that's where he seems to think cue ball will end up. I think he could come 2 rails and then just get above the 8. Yeah, there's the line he wants. So it's pretty much just missing the 8, with hitting above the 2nd diamond up in the bottom left corner pocket. Let's see how his positional play works out. Looks good. That's perfectly on the line. And I think this goes nicely in the top right. I think he can kind of just smooth it forward, play off that long rail and back out into the center of the table for the 5 in the bottom left. Overcuts it. I must say, he seems to play that one just a little quick once he got down, especially compared to the previous shot. He gave it all the due care and attention in the world. How's this? Looks pretty good. Or will it go? That's the question. Yeah, it did go. No worries at all. Little drawback, not too far. You want an angle on that 8. When he runs around with all the top and spin, he should be fine here. He can play around again, probably top and running English. Probably shape the 9 in the left centre. He's gone to get his extension piece, I think. Bit of a stretch. Yeah, let the cue ball go where it wants to is very common among Filipino pool positional play. So playing with top spin, the running side, outside, to let it spin around. Just looking to see the 9 into the top corner now. He could perhaps try and hold it. He's got to leave himself distance. Like a cinch type shot. So the cue ball's traveling a lot less. Surely it's the top and running side. That's what it looks like. He's gone quite close to the corner pocket there, so he's ended up coming the short side, but he won't complain. If he's got a straight shot in the corner, he'll take that gratefully. And he could reduce the deficit to just 3 racks with this. Still not out of it. As long as he can keep Lewis off the hill, he's got a chance. With the break, rack 10, and the ball drops in the side. The 9 is going close to the corner actually. And he's got a nice shot, open shot at the 1. In fact, if he plays this 1 and comes around, look at the 2-9. This could be a very short rack indeed. He's just got to negotiate the furniture as he plays this cue ball around 2 rails between the 7 and the 8. That's all he's got to do is come down. He's finishing perfect here. I'm afraid this is the rack here. I don't see him missing this one. To be on the hill. There it is. Lewis 7. Vlady now needing all 5 remaining racks. It's a tall order. Just one at a time. And makes the ball. If scratches. He will just seem to fly in the corner there. It's just not been his day. He'll lick his wounds and be back another day. So a nice opener here. 2 nearby. 3 in the open. Available in all the pockets. Can be the bottom left. We actually numbered the pockets when we used to play golf back on the snooker tables in the UK. That would have been bag 2. You'd start off with the ball on the centre spot of the table, and you'd be playing the cue ball from the kitchen, and you had to put it in pocket 1, which is the bottom right, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, and each time the ball would be respotted on the centre spot and you'd have to position for it. I believe similar games are played in college billiards on one of their 12-foot tables by the local guys. Is it there? No, it's wide. So a chance here for Vlady, if he's not already resigned to defeat. He could pinch this rack here. And that's a nice pot, but didn't get the cue ball back where he wanted it. And he's under the rail and having to jack up here. Tough shot. Oh, really beautifully played, but where's the cue ball going? Oh, no. So Vlady Moresca shakes hands with our winner tonight. That is Lewis Abarca. He now proceeds to the last 8, where he's going to play Tad Thurman. The quarterfinals now completed. We'll look forward to seeing you on Mothlike TV again soon with more from this tournament.